Okie dokie, we should be live. We should be live. Just a quick boxing live stream. We'll be going for maybe hour, 2 hours, something like that. You know, you guys know how it is by now on this channel. We'll talk what we want to talk about. We'll see what comes up, and yeah, we'll go from there. But yeah, man, it's been a long week. It's been a long week. I'm not gonna lie, been tiring. But you know, it is what it is, as they say. It is what it is. But yeah, hopefully you guys are keeping well. It's Friday, man, so there's reason to be happy. There's reason to be happy. The working week is over. Well, for me at least it is. Well, I say that, I've got fucking shit to do. But, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, there's some fights this weekend. There's a Sky Sports card this weekend in the UK, headlined by the fan favourite, Sam Eggington. He's fighting some random Polish guy. In America, there's a good card on DAZN tomorrow. Ronnie Rios versus MJ Akhmadaliev. Pretty good fight. Akhmadaliev defending his unified super bantamweight titles. That's a good fight. Bam Rodriguez versus Saul Rungvisai is a really interesting fight, in my opinion. Bam Rodriguez right now is one of the most exciting young fighters in the sport of boxing, no doubt about it. And that DAZN card is actually pretty good, I'm not going to lie. It's a shame that the Julio Cesar Martinez fight got called off. I think Martinez picked up an injury, or he got ill, something along those lines. But the DAZN card this weekend is actually pretty good if you're a hardcore fight fan. Let's have a quick look at this DAZN card. 1 second. MJ Akhmadaliev. Have a look on BoxRec. Our trusted BoxRec. You can never go wrong with old BoxRec. Where's this fucking American card? So yeah, you've got MJ Akhmadaliev versus Ronnie Rios. That's a pretty good fight. Jesse Rodriguez versus Saul Rungvisai. You've got Jessica McCaskill on the undercard. I'm not a fan of female boxing, so take that for what it's worth. Raymond Ford, a prospect. He's in there with another prospect, Richard Medina. That could be an interesting fight. And the return of White Chocolate, Nikita Ababi, on the card as well. He's fighting No Larios, who lost to Aguiarco, the Irish fighter. So it's a decent card. It's a decent card. But that is the best card of this weekend. And the UK card on Sky Sports, that is headlined, of course, by Sam Eggington versus some Polish dude, Przemysław Zisk. And on the undercard, there's really not much to really look out for. Adam Azim, a good prospect, is fighting on the undercard. But the Sky card is pretty weak, I'm not going to lie. It's pretty weak. Big up to Andrew, salute. Freezing Boxing, big up to yourself, bro. Yeah, man, I need to do it more, man. But the last few weeks, I've barely had time to fart, to be honest. I've barely had time to fart. Just been super busy, super fucking loads of shit on, you know, outside of work and outside of YouTube, just loads of shit on, which has been a bit of a juggle, to be honest. But such is life. Johnny Gonzalez is fighting. That's a blast from the past. Where's he fighting? Is he fighting in Mexico? Johnny Gonzalez, man. He's not really done much since he lost to Gary Russell. Johnny Gonzalez. Is he I never knew he was still fighting. 40 years old. Is he fighting this weekend? Yeah, and Campbell Hatton is one of the most exciting fighters. Yeah, exactly, bro. Exactly. What's up, BG London? How you doing, man? Hopefully you're keeping well on this fine Friday evening here in the UK. Hopefully you're keeping well. The summer's here, man. So, like, what's not to like? What's not to like? What is not to like? Oh, big up to Unrivaled. By the way, Unrivaled, I do mean to get back to you at some point, bro. It's just been hectic, man. It's been super fucking hectic. Like, again, barely had time to have a wank, to be honest. Barely had time to have a wank. Hopefully you're keeping well, man. Like, I've got shitloads to do this weekend. Like, after this, I need to make my dinner and then probably start recording, man. So, we're stressed. It's a lot of stress, man. Adam Azim is getting a ton of hype already. I've seen people say that he could beat Josh Taylor. Come on, he would get wrecked. Yeah, that's over the top. Saying he beats Josh Taylor, that's over the top. But he looks good. He looks interesting. Adam Azim, he looks interesting. If he can take a punch, it will be interesting. We'll see. But you know the route they're going down with Adam Azim. They're going to try and market him as like the next Prince Nazim. That's what they're going to try and do. Because he's got that swagger about him, seems to hit pretty hard, got that unique style, hands down kind of thing, reactions, reflexes. Who have I got, Rungvisai or Rodriguez? Listen, man, Rungvisai's been a great servant in the lower weights, but he's in his mid-30s now, Rungvisai, and he's had a lot of hard fights. And quite frankly, ever since that second Estrada fight, I don't think he's looked that great, to be honest. So I've got Bam Rodriguez in a relatively hard-fought fight, but clear UD for Bam Rodriguez. I doubt he'll stop him. I doubt he'll stop him, but I think he'll win on points relatively comfortably. Abner Mares is fighting as well. Jesus Christ. Last time I checked, Abner Mares had something wrong with him, like his eye or something like that. He doesn't seem the type to spunk his money, so I guess it's just for the love of it, I guess. Yeah, UK summer is here. It rained with, rained most of the day. Yeah, facts. It's not really rained here, though. It's just been cloudy all fucking day. It's really humid, though. It's pissing. It's annoying. I'd rather it be sunny as fuck. Get this smoke. Salute. Hopefully you're keeping well, bro. Long time no see, man. Hopefully you've been keeping well. But yeah, this weekend it's all about the DAZN card. The DAZN card's actually pretty good. I'm not going to lie. Is there any fights tonight? Is there any fights tonight? Let's have a look. Not really. Oh yeah, Johnny Gonzalez is tonight. Oh, it's a different Jonathan Gonzalez. I thought you meant Johnny Gonzalez. Okay. Yeah, that's a minimum light flyweight title fight. Okay, cool. I've never seen him fight, bro. I can't lie. That's what I'm thinking, get this smoke. I doubt he'll fight again. He's talking about it, but is he going to get licensed? Who the fuck knows? Yeah, that is annoying. AKS, yeah. The first fight was really interesting. It ended after the second round. Both guys got dropped. Martinez got dropped once, and Rungvisai Arroyo got dropped twice, if memory serves me correct. And it was waved off because of a cut. It was a technical decision or technical draw, no contest, whatever. So yeah, first time around, it was shaping up to be a really good fight, and then it ended the way it did, man. So yeah, it's a shame we never get that rematch. I doubt it will be rescheduled, but we'll see. We'll see. And obviously, as well, this past Thursday, the return of Jarrell Miller happened. I watched the highlights. I've watched bits and bobs of that fight. He started pretty slowly against Bracamonte, actually lost the first couple of rounds. After that, though, he kind of overwhelmed Bracamonte, but Miller looked pretty slow. He looked pretty lethargic, and, he didn't look great, but he was weighing in at 342 pounds, which is crazy for a 6'4" heavyweight. I mean, insane. He needs to lose some weight, no doubt about it, Jarrell Miller, because he definitely, you could see in that fight, he was unfit. Very unfit. But listen, a lot of people are complaining that he's back. The way I see it is he served his time. There's many drug cheats in the sport of boxing. I mean, just let him get on with it now, I say. Let him get on with it. See what he can do. I don't particularly care about drug cheats in boxing anymore. No, but I saw he lost, Friesen. He lost to that prospect. I forget his name, the Canadian-based prospect. Yeah, he lost. I didn't see it, though, so you'll have to enlighten me on that. If you've seen it, you'll have to enlighten me. But yeah, that guy who he lost to has been highly ranked at 168 for a long time. He was highly ranked in the WBO at one point. I think it's Eric something, maybe. Eric, I want to say. Eric something. Let's have a look. Shit, 1 second, guys. Fucking hell. Yeah, Eric Bazinian. Yeah, Eric Bazinian. Yeah, I've heard of this dude before, but I've never got around to seeing him. But he's got to like 27-0, but he's not really fought anybody. He's not really fought anybody. So how good he is, who knows, man. Did you see DAZN post top boxing prospects and they sneak in Campbell Hatton? Yeah, that's a joke, bro. It's crazy. I'm not really sure what to think, Lee, to be honest. It's an interesting fight. Jason Cunningham has, suffered a lot of early defeats in his career, but he's come back well. And got some good wins at domestic level. Actually, the European champion now at bantamweight. So I think that's an interesting fight. Tete, a former world champion, long, rangy boxer. He can punch a bit, but he's got a glass chin. So that'll be an interesting fight, I think. It depends really what Tete has left. He's been a bit inactive since his defeat to Casemiro, so we'll see what Tete brings to the table. If he's at his best, I think he should win that fight, to be honest, Tete. But it's a good fight. It's an interesting fight. It's a weird fight as well, to be honest. It's a weird fight, but it should be interesting. It should be interesting. I think that's on the Joe Joyce card, isn't it? Let's have a look at this card, actually, this Joe Joyce card. Let's have a look at it. Fuck's sake, man. Joe Joyce. That's on the 2nd of July, I believe, right? Yeah, 2nd of July, I think. I thought it was 2nd of July. I'm sure it is. 1 second. I'm trying to find it on BoxRec. One second. I'll find it. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, 2nd of July, BT card. Joe Joyce versus Christian Hammer. Not a great fight. Last minute. It is what it is. I do like Joe Joyce, though. Jason Cunningham versus Zolane Tete. Good fight. Callum Johnson versus Igor Mikhalkin. That is for a WBO Global Light Heavyweight title. That's a really good fight, actually. The sort of fight Callum Johnson needs. Igor Mikhalkin is decent. Been at European level for a little while. Did lose his last fight to Border League, I believe. But that's a decent fight for Callum Johnson, I would say. That should be good. Igor Mikhalkin is a good boxer, but he's quite high output. Likes to mix it up. And against a puncher like Callum Johnson, that could be a good fight. So there's 3 decent fights on the card, or 3 fights to look forward to. Mark Chamberlain on the undercard, decent prospect. That's not a bad card. I've got Cunningham on points. Tete is too old and Jason is in his prime. You could be right, bro. You could be right. Is Klitschko watching AJ Usyk 2 through war then? Well, who knows, bro? Who the fuck knows? You tell me. Joyce fight is the worst on the card, laughing my ass off. I'm looking forward to seeing what Callum Johnson has left. Yeah, that's a good fight, bro. I like watching Joe Joyce fight, but the opponent is underwhelming. Very underwhelming. But again, I can't really blame him because, he was under the assumption he was going to fight Joe Parker. Joe Parker's pulled out. I count that as a duck, to be honest, man. I mean, when he pulled out first time around, it was because of Andy Lee. His wife was having a baby and he couldn't train him, which sounded a bit ridiculous at the time. And in hindsight, I think that was just an excuse to explore this Sky deal, to be honest. Very disappointing. Very disappointing. I mean, who is Joe Parker going to fight on Sky? A Huey Fury rematch? God help us. God help us, man. God help us. God help us. God help us. Most underrated boxer in the welterweight has to go to Kavalauskas. Kavalauskas is up there, but again, he's not exactly world class. Most underrated welterweight? I mean, the thing is with welterweight, it's such a high-profile division. Anybody who's anybody gets their shine. So it's like, I don't know. Is there really an underrated welterweight contender? Maybe Cody Crowley, but again, I don't think Cody Crowley is going to really do much at the elite level, so I'm not sure really with welterweight. Big up to Bruce. Bruce Gas Boxing, Jazz and more. Salute. Word up, Aussie. Salute. Bam Bam going to get knocked clean out tomorrow. 9th, Pigeon. One of Pigeon's tips. Is he going to be right? You'll get some good money, Pigeon. Bam Bam train ends tomorrow. I think he'll win, bro. I think Rung Vasai's too long in the tooth now. But yeah, if Rung Vasai is at his best, then that's a damn hard fight. Joyce Wallin is a good fight. It makes a lot of sense. I agree. That's a good fight, Lee. That's a great fight. It makes sense. Honestly, I think Joyce would run over Otto Wallin, I'll be honest, but it makes sense in my opinion. Yeah, good fighter, but an absolute loser mentality, Joseph Parker. Exactly, bro. Joseph Parker has attributes that a lot of heavyweights would kill to have. He's got relatively quick hands. He's got relatively quick feet. He's got decent enough fundamentals. He's a decent boxer, and he's got a granite chin. Chins in which don't really exist at heavyweight. You know, Parker's got a really good chin, but he doesn't have that dog. Like, if Joseph Parker had, for example, let's say Joseph Parker had Povetkin's mentality, or even Dillian White's mentality, he would be a dangerous fucking fighter. Like a never say die Joseph Parker would be a dangerous fighter. But he doesn't have that in him. Kamil Sakalovsky versus Johnny Fisher is apparently going on. Oh, interesting. That could be a case of bad matchmaking, but I'll take it. Pigeon had Cambosos and Smith Jr. I'll take Bam Bam. I think Spence is slightly underrated. Crawford is extremely overrated. Interesting. I do think Spence's skills do go underappreciated sometimes, I'll be honest. I think he's a solid fighter, Spence. Solid fundamentals. Sky card looks pretty poor. The best fight on the card looks like the English title rematch with River Wilson Bent and Tyler Denny, yeah. And what a name, by the way, River Wilson Bent. It's a bit of a mouthful as well. Mickinson is getting slaughtered. Imagine he pulls off the upset. Yeah, that's not going to happen. He can't punch his way out of a wet paper bag, Michael Mickinson. No power whatsoever. So he's going to get wrecked. And honestly, that's disappointing as well. I mean, Avanesian pulling out of the Virgil Ortiz fight. I mean, come on, man. I'm not really interested in Ortiz versus Mickinson. Exactly. BG London. Big Baby's been punished enough. Look at that purse he left at the table against Joshua. Exactly, bro. Exactly. Imagine, like, the amount of money that guy's lost in recent years is crazy. Like, he should not be having to think about work again. That's the sort of money he's lost. And again, it's his own fault. I get it. But, like, you know, I'm not going to sit here and keep on condemning him. I mean, boxing is full of drug cheats. Certain guys get leeway, other guys don't. And the reality is boxing, the drug testing in boxing as of right now is, I mean, the standards are pretty low anyway. Different jurisdictions have different rules on the same drugs. I mean, until boxing gets one global standard for drugs in boxing, it's never really going to be a level playing field. So what's the point getting upset about it? I say he served his time, let him fight. That's what I say. That's what I say. Magseo Vargas card looks solid. The main event is good, but I've not seen the undercard, Nathan. Yeah, McKinson definitely has the right attitude. I'm sure he's getting paid well, but yeah, you're right. Big Baby on that Argentinian steak. Nah, I'm all for Big Baby coming back, Aussie. I'm all for it. Get him in there with fucking Chisora or somebody like that. It'll be a great fight. Yeah, Sam Eggington is always good to watch. He's always in good fights, even though they're not at the highest level, but he's good to watch. As a ratio, how much do you favour Usyk versus Joshua? Yeah, I'd agree with that, about 65-35. Banter swag, I'd agree. Anything close is going to Joshua. You know, Usyk's going to really have to win convincingly or knock Joshua out. And when I say win convincingly, I'm talking like 9 rounds to 3. Because let's be real, he basically did that first time around, and one of the judges had it, 1 point to Usyk, which is insane to me. So, like, an 8-4 type win will not be good enough for Alexander Usyk. He needs to win this fight clearly or knock Joshua out. A 7-5, a clear 7-5, 8-4 will not be enough. To be fair, though, Aussie, I mean, if we banned for heavyweights, there wouldn't be any fucking heavyweights left. The amount of those guys who have popped is crazy. Oh, Briedis versus Gassiev in 2018. At the time, I'd have probably taken Gassiev. In hindsight, I'd have probably taken Briedis. That'd be a good fight, Albanian boxer. McKinson versus Marku. That would be a good fight. Pitbull Cruz is fighting Eduardo Ramirez on the Ruiz Ortiz card. That's a decent fight. Eduardo Ramirez is pretty solid. He's coming off a good bit of form. Eduardo Ramirez. I think Isaac Cruz wins, but decent enough fight. I agree, Nathan. Yeah, that fight makes sense to me. Vitaly Klitschko is so underrated. He might have a chance against Prime Mike Tyson with that chin. Yeah, Vitaly Klitschko, his style was so unique. Herky-jerky, awkward, lean back, lead hand out. A very awkward fighter. And his footwork was extremely good, man. Extremely good. And he could punch a bit as well. Josh Warrington to fight Vargas, Magsayo winner. I've been waiting for Josh to be unified. He's good enough at his best. That'll be good fights. I certainly think he'll beat Vargas, Lee. Vargas is a good, tricky boxer, but I think he'll be overwhelmed by Josh Warrington. Magsayo, I think Warrington can outwork him, but he needs to be wary of the power coming back because Magsayo can time you with that left hook. So that'll be a dangerous fight for Warrington. But again, I'd agree. I would favor Warrington to beat both guys. Big Baby versus Dillian White. No testing and last man standing. See, that is what I like. That is what I like. What the fuck is that? Barboza versus Zurila on July 15th. Another good fight at 140 between two contenders. Hopefully Matias and Ponce gets made as well. I agree. Yeah, Matias Ponce would be great. I can see it. I can see it as well. I can see it as well. Yeah, ban Kid Galahad for drug cheating. I don't care about doping, but that guy is unbelievably boring. Yeah, I don't think many people would lose sleep if he got banned. The fight being in Saudi Arabia and Joshua's new long-term deal with DAZN, I could see this being very fixed. Cards will be bad, but reffing will be even worse. Calling it now, yeah. I can see that as well. Because you know what the end goal is, don't you, of course? It's Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. That's the end goal. And, obviously there's a lot of money in that fight. Arguably hundreds of millions of dollars. And, they're going to do their best to try and get that back on course. That's what it is. That's what it is. It's a shame we have to talk about boxing that way, but it's true. Usyk has a 50-50 split in the rematch, so he's going to get paid well to get cheated. Yeah. At least he's getting paid. Good fight, yeah. Lopez destroyed Isaac Lowe, and he destroyed the other kid as well. I forget his name. But yeah, that's a decent fight. That's a banana skin fight, Lee, because if he beats him, he's not going to get any credit. And if he loses, then obviously it's a bad look. But in reality, if you've seen Lopez fight before, he's a good fighter. But the casuals are not going to know that, which is a shame. That's a good fight. I'll take Warrington, though, but I think it's a hard fight. I'll big up to Carlos Mendoza for the contribution. Salute. And yeah, as Carlos said, smash that like button. I'm sitting here drinking a coffee on this fine Friday evening. We're not on the old ale or anything like that. We're going to keep it steady tonight. Fucking got some bits to do, so can't get drunk tonight. I'm in Albania during the fight. Laugh out loud. Hopefully you enjoy it, bro. Bernardo Lopez is mandatory. Yeah, for the IBF. Yeah, good fight. Very good fight. Kevin. Very good fight. Who was the guy he beat? He beat Isaac Lowe and he beat the other guy. Was it Flores? But he beat the shit out of him. I recall that fight. He beat the absolute shit out of him. I've got Nestle, Lee. I've got Nestle. It's some fucking I don't know, some fancy fucking, not even fancy, but you know what I mean. That's all I drink really in the week. I literally only drink coffee and occasionally water. That's all I drink. I try to avoid like sugary fucking drinks like fucking Red Bull and that. I just don't like them anymore. I don't like Coke. I don't really like Pepsi. I've gone right off that sort of stuff. You know, like fizzy drinks, unless it's beer. So yeah, I usually drink fucking coffee. E-Machine, salute. Big up to yourself. Joshua Boratsi versus Robin Krasniki. I'm backing my fellow countryman. He got robbed with the German scorecards. They're worse than the UK. I don't think anybody's worse than the UK right now. I'm not going to lie. Shakur versus Robson Conceição being made. That's going to be hella boring. I don't mind that fight. I actually don't mind that fight. It's a tricky style matchup. Like, Conceição is always going to be relatively tricky. So, I don't mind that fight. That's a decent title defense if that comes off. That's a decent title defense. Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson. Yeah, okay, yeah. Decent fight. September 23rd. ESPN Ringside are reporting it. That's a decent enough fight. No official agreement signed, but both sides are closing in on the deal. Okay, cool, interesting. Decent fight. I'm not going to complain about that. Why has Anthony Joshua got that terrible chin? Should he train more muscles on that neck? I don't think he has got a terrible chin. I don't think it's great. I think it's average for a heavyweight. His problem is he reacts poorly when he gets clipped and he goes into panic mode. I don't think his chin is as bad as people make out. Like, if he had a bad chin, a certified bad chin, he wouldn't have got up from that Klitschko knockdown. Nobody with a bad chin is surviving that shot. I think that his problem is like psychological, especially since the Ruiz fight. He fights like he's got no confidence in his chin, which can make the issue much worse. And I said that about the Pulev fight. There was times when he was flinching and kind of looking away from shots, and that's going to make you get hurt even more. If you're like flinching like that, you're looking away, you're not bracing yourself for a shot. That can lead you to getting hurt more. I think a lot of Joshua's problems are psychological. I'm not saying he's got a great chin, far from it. He's got an average heavyweight chin, but I don't think it's bad. Yeah, I'll see closer to the time freeze in boxing. I'm not really prepared to say yet. I'll think about it, but I could see him getting jobbed. Callum Smith would KO Boatsi. I'd like to see it. That's a good fight. Callum Smith is fighting soon, actually. Apparently, he's going to fight on the AJ undercard against Borderleek, the Frenchman. Do you think Rungvisai is the favourite? I'm a bit of a casual with the lower weights, but from what I know, I would have thought he is. But everybody seems to be acting like Bam is the favourite. Yeah, Bam is the favourite. He's younger, he's fresher, coming off a really good win over Quadras. He's got a lot of hype right now. And ultimately, if that hype isn't real, Rungvisai can expose him. But Rungvisai now is mid-30s, like I was saying. He's getting old, had a lot of wars. He's not looked quite as good in recent fights. So I think the theory is that he's catching him at the right time. I think that's the theory. He's still good, Rungvisai, but is he as good as he was a few years ago? Probably not. But it's a good fight. I agree, Freeze in boxing. He beat Valdez, absolutely. Shakur is the closest thing to the new Mayweather. Stylistically, though, they're different. Yeah, Golovkin Canelo 3. I'm not really hyped for it. I'm not going to lie. Maybe I will be nearer the time. But as of right now, I'm not really excited. I can't lie. AJ got a Poppadom chin. Fucking hell. Fury by stoppage. What? Who do you mean? Over Jake Paul? Or do you mean Deadly has more skills than Campbell Hatton? I think you've got more skills than Campbell Hatton. I think I've got more skills than Campbell Hatton. Good fight. What do you make of Ruiz versus Ortiz? Ortiz is like the heavyweight Kiko Martinez to me, old and vulnerable, but still dangerous. Ruiz should definitely win for me at this point. Yeah, I agree. I think I'd agree. I make Ruiz a favourite, but Ruiz looked bad against Chris Arreola. He looked bad in that fight. So that's an interesting fight. I like that fight. Loser basically leaves town. That's what it seems like, XMB. He's fought once since then. And when was the Canelo fight? 2020? Or 2019? Something like that? Yeah, Borderleak is a good European level guy, but not great. Who wins, Lomachenko or Shakur? That's a hard fight to call. If it happens right now, I've got Lomachenko. If it happens in a couple of years' time, then who knows? But I think Shakur needs a few more fights before he's ready for that level. But he's doing well though, Shakur. Coming off a couple of good wins over Herring and and Valdez. Oh, you mean Fury over Usyk? I'm not sure. We'll see how Usyk looks in this fight. If he can repeat what he did against Joshua again, then I think there's going to be a lot of people believing Usyk can beat Fury. Tommy Fury trying to duck Jake Paul? Maybe. Well, apparently he's got the fight again. Apparently that's official, isn't it? Tommy Fury and Jake Paul. Hear me out. I'm actually kind of looking forward to it. Am I the only one? Or anybody else feel the same? How many? It's only an 8-rounder, though. It's only an 8-rounder. It needs to be a 10-rounder at least. Jake Paul sparks Tommy. I don't think Tommy can handle the pace or pressure from the crowd. That'd be hilarious, man. Smith versus Smith Jr. would be okay. Joe can still hurt a lot of these guys. He just got mauled and outclassed quickly by Beterbiev. Yeah, that would be a good fight. I'd still like to see Joe Smith Jr. versus Callum Johnson, Quags. I think that'd be a great fight. Yeah, Tommy Fury is shit, no doubt. Timmy Fury. Yeah, he's shit. Liam Williams beats Berlanga. Berlanga sucks, honestly. And he was a disgrace that night as well, trying to bite his opponent. Should have been disqualified as far as I'm concerned. Listen, he's going to get knocked out quick, Berlanga, when he really steps up. Like fucking, what's his face knocks him out? David Morrell, he'll knock him out. Pavel Silyagin will school him. He's not a great prospect. Thank you, Nazru. Thank you very much, man. What odds do you give AJ against Usyk? I have a feeling he's going to prove he's something special and surprise a lot of people. He's got a chance, no doubt. He's a big heavyweight. He's tall, he's rangy, explosive, he's relatively quick, bigger man. If he can put all those things together and make it work for himself, he's got a chance. Joshua's always got a chance in most fights in the heavyweight division, quite frankly, but it's whether he's right mentally on the night. It's whether he's willing to walk through fire. Because if he stands off Usyk again, chances are it's a long night once again and he gets outboxed. He needs to switch things up in this rematch. He needs to be, I know it's cliche, but he needs to be like the old AJ. Bring that dog out. AJ prior to Ruiz won. Well, prior to Klitschko, really, that seek and destroy AJ who takes risks. The risk-taking boxer puncher. Yes, of course. He might get knocked out doing that style, but I think he needs to do it. He certainly needs to be more aggressive to some degree. Luis Ortiz can read the hieroglyphics. If Miller, can get back to his 2017-28 form, he could beat Usyk. I don't think he's got the feet, Jared. I don't think he's got the foot speed to do it. But yeah, if he can stay on top of Usyk, then yeah, he could give Usyk a hard fight. It's going to be interesting to see how Jake Paul does against the live boxer, yeah. And Tommy's not great, but he is a boxer. My younger brother's a big YouTube boxing guy, and he got me invested, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's all the rage right now, isn't it? It's all the rage. I hope Paul sparks him. Fury's a coward. Listen, bro, I want that to happen, Jay, just because it's fucking hilarious. I don't really dislike Tommy Fury. He is what he is. But I want to see it. I want to see him get knocked out. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Callum Johnson versus Joe Smith Jr. That would be a great fight. Anybody beats Bum Langer. Yeah, I mean, I remember, man, there was so much hype for Berlanga when he was getting those first round knockouts. But against who? What was he learning in those fights? And here we are, 12 months later, everybody's jumped off a train. Training your neck improves your absorption of hits to your head. Yeah, I'm sure it does. Stops your head rattling around as much. Yeah, I'd say about a 35% chance, me personally. Facts. I still consider AJ the second best heavyweight. Fury beat an old gun-shy Vlad, and Wilder is a fucking absolute bum. But AJ's a douchebag. Yeah, I mean, AJ's got some decent wins. There's no doubt about it. I think his fans always overhyped him. But like, I think on the flip side, I think other people go way overboard with the criticism. I mean, he's a good heavyweight, Joshua. He's a good dangerous heavyweight. But he's certainly not unbeatable, as we know. Big Belly Miller is a joke fighter. I've got more confidence in Canelo beating Bivol than AJ beating Usyk. Interesting. I don't think that Bivol fight's going to happen, E-Machines. I don't think that second Bivol fight's going to happen for some reason. As of right now, Nasru, I think Canelo wins clearly. But we shall see. We shall see. The whole 168 thing will be interesting. How will that affect Golovkin? It might actually be good for Golovkin, not cutting that weight at 39 years old, 40 years old. Because obviously getting down to middleweight at 40 must be pretty hard. So being at 168, it might give him a bit more energy. So that could make it interesting, actually. But I think Canelo will actually win this one clearly. I don't think there's going to be any doubts this time around. That's my thoughts right now. I might change my mind nearer the time, but that's how I'm feeling right now. I didn't think so at the time, but I'd favour Callum Johnson 60-40 over Joe. Yeah, I mean, one thing about Callum, he can punch with you, and against Joe, as we found out against Beterbiev, that can be his kryptonite, right? So, yeah, Callum could absolutely catch Joe Smith Jr., but Callum can be hurt as well, and Callum's not looked great in his last two fights himself, so I don't know, man. It's a great fight. It's 50-50 in my opinion. That's who lands first. Yeah, Yoel Romero's a fucking tank. Is Dubois the biggest puncher now in the division after Wilder? No. I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't say so personally. I mean, I'd still put Joshua over Dubois in terms of punching power. Even like Dillian White's left hook, does Daniel Dubois throw a single shot that's harder than that? I'm not sure he does. Dubois' got a lot of work to do, man. He's got a lot of work to do. Yeah, Berlanga's a stereotypical hype job, yeah. Yeah, I've not heard much from Lerone Richards recently. He won that fight against Carlos Gongora, not done much since. The problem with him is he's got a negative style. He doesn't have a fan base, so beating him, he's one of those high risk, low reward type fights. If you beat him, you're not going to get any credit, and if you lose to him, you're in trouble. You know. Oh, interesting. Now this is what I like. Alan putting his balls on the line here. Golovkin will hurt and stop Canelo. I hope you're right, bro. I hope you're fucking right. I really do. That'll be amazing. It'll be an amazing way to end a career if you're Golovkin. I hope you're right, bro, but I just can't see it, man. I can't see it. Oh, what's up, Nordic, man? Hopefully you're well. Bivol is apparently half Romanian. He's half Moldovan, I think. Well, there's that, yeah. I mean, but apparently Canelo, he wasn't on like a strict vegan diet. He was like he ate vegan sometimes, was his words. And if he felt like eating meat, he would eat meat. But yeah, still, he needs to knock that shit on the head, full stop. Yeah, Lerone Richards is your typical amateur-style, feather-fisted fighter. He just won't make it at world level as a pro. Maybe he grabs a vacant. Exactly, yeah. That's the sort of fighter I think he is. And, you know, he just doesn't make for attractive fights. He's not an attractive opponent. Because even if you beat him, he can make you look bad and really affect your standing. So he's going to be one of those guys. He's going to be one of those guys. That's an interesting fight to me. Lerone Richards and Zach Parker. See, to me, that should happen. They are the two up-and-coming 168-pounders in the UK. That fight should happen. I've got no fucking clue what's happening with Zach Parker. Is he going to fight Andrade or not? I would still take Wilder over AJ. I think Wilder gets there first, to be honest. I think Wilder gets there first. One thing about Wilder, I don't think he'll be intimidated in that fight, whereas AJ, I'm not so sure. I think that's a hard fight to call, Will. Parker can box and he can punch, whereas Lerone is a pure boxer. Not sure about that fight, to be honest. Yeah, he looked good after that third round in that fight. He really got his rhythm going in that fight. I like the way he was. He wasn't loading up with every single shot like he was under Abel. He was varying the power in his combination. So he would start with maybe 2 light punches, then introduce the third could be a real hard shot, and really mixing that power up. And his body work in that fight was really good as well. But yeah, first few rounds he was definitely rusty, Golovkin. I wondered whether it was age and just being past it. But after like the third round, he actually looked quite good, Golovkin. Yeah, Canelo's only vegan Monday through Fridays. Okay, Bivol is half Korean and half Kyrgyzstani. Interesting. Our salute to Tony Boswell, man. Big up to Tony Boswell. Thank you for always keeping it 100. Well, thank you, Tony, man. It's much appreciated. Big up to Tony Boswell. Salute, man. Thank you for the contribution, man. Lerone Richards could probably beat Ryder. That's an interesting fight. I think I'd probably make Ryder a favourite, to be honest. But it's a decent fight. It's a decent fight. I wouldn't complain if it got made, put it that way. I certainly wouldn't complain. Richard Riakporhe, I mean, he's decent. He's okay, but very raw, very unrefined. To me, he's like a poor man's Lawrence Okole. I think his power's real. I think his power's pretty legit. But I mean, listen, could he beat Makabu? Probably. He's decent. Yeah, he's decent. I don't think he's ever going to beat a Briedis or an Okole, but I think he could beat a Makabu. Yeah, I mean, time will tell. Ryder would be a very good fight for him, though. Jesse Kiko Quinteros. Thank you, man. Thank you very much. Well, that's what I thought, Sadiq, yeah. Bivol dad is from Moldova and his mother is from South Korea. That's what I thought as well. Maybe he was born in Kyrgyzstan. But yeah, he's a mixer. He's got a few, he reps a few places. Yeah, exactly. I doubt it. I doubt it, Nazru. I doubt it. I can't see that happening. Big Pharma or Michael Hunter? Or Michael the Hunted? I mean, both guys looked shit in their last fights, but I'd probably say Michael Hunter, to be honest. Yeah, to be honest, I felt he lost that fight as well against Chris Billum-Smith. I felt he lost that fight, to be fair. But honestly, I felt it was relatively close. I mean, I wouldn't begrudge him getting the decision, but I felt Billum-Smith won. Oh, no, it's not been asked. Thoughts on Bivol versus Beterbiev? Obviously, it's a very good fight, and it's the fight that should happen at light heavyweight. Undisputed, right? That's apparently that's all that matters. So yeah, the fight should happen. I mean, as of right now, I make Beterbiev a relatively big favourite. The thing is with Dimitri Bivol in that fight, for me, he's going to need to show us something offensively that he's never showed us. I don't believe he can stick and move for 12 rounds against Beterbiev. Beterbiev has extremely quick feet. People underestimate Beterbiev's foot speed. You saw how he managed to collapse the pocket and really catch up to Vodzik, who's a really good outside boxer, and he was able to get to him pretty fucking quickly after like the third, fourth round. I can't see Bivol boxing for 12 rounds on his bike, backpedaling, throwing the 1-2. I can't see him doing that for 12 rounds without sustaining damage and slowing down. I can't see him doing that. I really can't. He needs to show us something offensively in that fight. If he doesn't give Beterbiev anything to think about, he will lose that fight, in my opinion. I think he will lose that fight. I think the pressure might be a bit too much. And I think it could be similar to the Vodzik fight. I can't see him winning that fight unless he shows us something offensively. Just my opinion. I can't see him winning that fight. There's going to be times in that fight where he needs to fight Beterbiev off. And he needs to be willing to do so. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, he would. He would. I think Eubank Jr. would beat... he'd beat up Berlanga. Yeah, he would. That's true. That is true, Will Stokes. It's not a great look. We'll see what he does, though, Miller, in the future. Yeah, you got to respect the work Jake Paul is putting in. Yeah, well, I mean, I guess so. He's making his money. Honestly, I'll contradict myself. It probably still is Golovkin versus Canelo. Although, yeah, I'm just not looking forward to it that much right now. Maybe Benavidez versus Canelo. Yeah, I'd say Benavidez versus Canelo and Golovkin versus Canelo. I think they're probably the best fights at 168. I got Jesse Rodriguez on points against Rungvisai. And I've got Soto on points against Butler. Yeah, he knocked out Abraham Nova. Yeah, he's rebounded well from his pro debut defeat. He's rebounded well. I'm still not convinced at world level, though, Nathan. I agree. AKS. Bivol gets broken down and stopped like Vodzik. I agree. I just can't... Can you see him boxing and moving, throwing the 1-2 for 12 rounds and keeping at arm's length from Beterbiev? Can you see him doing that for 12 rounds? I can't. I really can't. I never saw the Turchi fight. I still need to see it, to be honest. I know you said you thought it was a dive, but I need to see it. Yeah, the Massey fight was very close as well. Yeah, that was close. Yeah, exactly. Vodsic couldn't discourage or get Beterbiev's respect. Bivol gets KO'd in 10. Salute to you, Del Boy. Yeah, I agree, Javier. I agree. I think Bivol can punch. He just doesn't really. He doesn't really sit down on his shots that much. He can punch a bit. He's got respectable power, Bivol, but I don't think respectable's enough when you're fighting Beterbiev. I don't think it's enough. See, that would be a great fight, Tony. Conor Benn versus Aegis Kavalauskas. That would make a lot of sense, but it's a risky fight for Conor Benn. I don't think they're willing to go there with that sort of fight. Not yet, anyway. Yeah, I agree, Nathan. Yeah, Riakporhe has fought solid domestic guys, though, but at his age, he's had to move quick. Yeah, sorry, fucking hell. That is a banger, but like again, what is Benavidez at 175? He's going to lose a lot of that strength and size. He'll still be big, don't get me wrong, but I think Beterbiev gets to him. Benavidez will make it a fight, no doubt about it, but I think Beterbiev gets to him. Honestly, Beterbiev at his best at 175, I can't see anybody beating him right now. But the problem for him is he's 37 years old, so he could fall off a cliff at any point. Oh, it's starting soon. I fucking never even knew. Damn, I never knew. So it is, yeah, seconds out. I'll put it open in the background. MJ KO 8 over Ronnie Rios. Yeah, I'd say MJ later on points. Rios is pretty tough. He's a pretty durable guy. He's coming off some good wins as well, Ronnie Rios, coming off a good bit of form. He knocked out De La Hoya's cousin relatively recently. He's the decent fighter, Rios. Yeah, Riakporhe's limited, but he's huge at cruiserweight and seems to carry legit power, yeah. Beterbiev stops Bivol in the 10th. He might be 6-3 or 5-4 down. I can see... So, yeah, I think Bivol wins the early rounds. But I think, yeah, eventually Beterbiev just starts to slowly grind him down. And eventually his feet are going to slow down Bivol and he'll get stopped. But Bivol's a very good boxer, man. He's technically as good as anybody in terms of like outside boxing. He's got wonderful feet. He's got a great rhythm to his style. Good feinter, lovely jab. But I just think he'll get overwhelmed. I agree, yeah. Beterbiev's power will throw Bivol's game plan outside the window. I agree. Yeah, I mean, I felt that at the time, but, you know, we know with Canelo fights, certain things are a bit fishy, so I get why people were doubting it. Yeah, I mean, it's the pure boxer in Bivol. Well, Bivol switches it up from like pure boxer to boxer puncher. But Beterbiev is the pure wrecking ball in that fight. That's a really good good contrast of styles. The Denim King, yeah. Joe Goosen. Jean shorts, jean jacket, jean shirt. What's it? Canadian tuxedo. But yeah, I mean, I think he's a good trainer. Frank Sanchez, in my opinion, is a decent prospect. I know people don't like his style, but I think he'll be tricky for anybody. And yeah, we'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes. I know the narrative is you've got to make Frank Sanchez more exciting, but if you do that, you could take away his effectiveness. So I'd work with what I have with Sanchez and you know, try and play on his strengths. Don't try to make him some slugger, because he can trouble people with his boxing. In my opinion, I think he's decent. I agree. I just don't think Bivol can move for 12 rounds against Beterbiev. He has to stop at some point, and I think Beterbiev will cut him off and make him square up. It's a great fight though, man. Maybe we're wrong, but I just can't. If Bivol can outbox Beterbiev for 12 rounds, then that is a hell of a performance. Yeah, they're not going to risk it, Volta. They're not going to risk it. Yeah, Beterbiev owns 175 right now. Yeah, indeed he does. And by the way, I'm not trying to underestimate Bivol. He's a terrific boxer. He's a terrific boxer, and I think he's got a style that can trouble Beterbiev, but I think that needs power with it, like real power. And I don't think he's got it. Siaslek just stopped Koling in the first round. Not surprised. Koling's not a cruiserweight. Honestly, you're going to probably call me crazy. I think Beterbiev wins. I think he beats Ward. Because Ward could not clinch against Beterbiev, which he could against Kovalev. He couldn't clinch against him. He's too strong. Even Beterbiev's free hand in the clinch, when he's in a clinch with a free hand, he can even generate power with that free hand. Like he generates crazy power in the clinch. I don't see Ward winning that fight at 175. I really don't. Certainly not the Ward that fought Kovalev both times. Just my opinion. Yeah, he'll get cashed out now, Nathan. Lucas Brown's coming off a good win, so he'll get cashed out. He'll get cashed out against somebody. I don't know who this guy is, man. I see this guy getting referenced all the time. This Southpaw character, but I don't know who he is. I think Rios goes for distance with MJ. I think it's very possible, yeah. Rios is very tough. If it's a stoppage, it's going to be late. Jake Paul by knockout all day. Ronnie Rios, yeah, he's solid, man. He's solid. Yeah, Beterbiev's arms look like jackhammers. He just makes you crumble with his power. Yeah, he's got some crazy core strength as well. Like some of the exercises he does in training is ridiculous, man. He's one of those guys. You look at him and it looks like he's made out of wood, like oak. Strong dude, man. PBK is back. My boy PBK is back. Put some respect on his name, Dale. Bro, he's going to get washed again, bro. He's going to get washed again. Like, if you chuck him in there with Charles Conwell at 154, he'll get fucking wrecked. I've heard a lot about him, Nathan, but I've not seen too much of him. Yeah, I mean, a lot of his punches are so short, but he generates crazy fucking power. It's like a ton of bricks when he's like hitting you with cement bags or sandbags. Exactly, yeah. Nah, he's not. Come on, you can't compare Sanchez to Berlanga. Sanchez actually has some boxing skills. Come on, man. Yeah, great jab. Yeah, but Beterbiev's skills are underrated. Yeah, great jab, great counter punching. He's got good feet coming forwards. His footwork when he's moving side to side sometimes isn't the best. He will cross his feet, things of that nature. But his footwork coming forwards is very good. The way he shifts in distance and to cut the ring off and throws punches at the same time. His ability, his footwork coming forwards is very good. Yeah, I saw that interview. Yeah, Lionel Thompson said getting hit by Artur Beterbiev was the same pain as when he got run over by a car. It's crazy, yeah. He said it was like the worst experience of his life. It's crazy. Listen, man, nobody's done that to Joe Smith Jr., not like that. And Joe has a good chin. And Joe does have a good chin. Not much, bro. Not much, Mr. Relax. He was a decent cruiserweight, a decent boxer. But, I mean, he never really proved much at cruiserweight. He never fought the elite guy. So, I don't think he'll do much, bro, to be honest with you. Maybe he'll get a payday, but... Well, honestly, Will, I never saw Sanchez as a Reynoso-type fighter. I never saw him as a Reynoso-type fighter. Maybe there's some truth to what Ryan was saying about Reynoso not giving them time, because Sanchez doesn't seem undisciplined. So what's the reason he left? Yeah, it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder. I'll have to check him out, Cone. I'll have to check him out. Yeah, Adam Azim's fighting tomorrow, yeah, on the Sky card, yeah. Kevin Lorena's fighting Marius Vac next. Marius Vac still gets those paydays. He still gets those paydays, man. Be careful with those videos, MV. Be careful. As part of his deal for the Kell Brook fight, Khan's secured a punditry role with Sky. Fucking hell. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I mean, the belts are being passed around like a cheap haul right now at lightweight, so we'll see what Devin Haney does. I think he's going to rematch Kambosos next, which nobody wants to see, let's be real. I've got Bam beating Rat King on points, Phil. Bam on points. Oh yeah, he got washed. Yeah, he got fucking washed again. Josue Vargas, yeah. He got destroyed by what's his face, that journeyman, yeah. That Zepeda knockout took a lot out of him. And yeah, now his career's over. Frank Sanchez is absolutely horrible in the best way you could wish to be. Very hard to think anybody could easily beat him, yeah. I think there are certain guys who would beat him, but nobody's going to look good doing it. Sanchez can box, but he seems one-paced. Yeah, it does make you wonder what happens when a guy puts it on him and forces him to up the pace. What happens then? Is he going to go into his shell and basically fall over kind of thing? Riddick Bowe was a great fighter, man, but his discipline wasn't there. He put too much weight on, ate too much outside the ring, but he had a lot of ability. For a heavyweight, he was very good on the inside. Very good. Yeah, he basically is. Nathan. Yeah, Christian Hammer is the new Kevin Johnson nowadays, yeah. Vac was making that bum Makhmudov look goofy for 4 rounds. Yeah, Makhmudov he's a hard puncher, but his skills are... He's not exactly the most skilled combatant, is he? But he's good to watch, though, Makhmudov. He hits fucking hard as well. Khan might be worse than Cole Froch. You might be right. Yeah. Jagba's back in training. What level's he at? I mean, I think at his very best, he'll be fringe world level, BG London. He's one of those guys who'll be in fun fights, but he'll never really get to the top. If you match him right, he's going to be in some really good fights, though. Okay, so the Canelo and Golovkin presser is now ongoing, and my fucking stream has frozen on seconds out. Yeah, I think they're all setting it up now. It's about to start. Yeah, Josue Vargas has a porcelain chin. Yeah, that Amir Khan chin. That's the one. Dakota Linger. Yeah, that's a good name, by the way. I can't see it, Will. I think it's going to go the exact same way. I just think stylistically, Devin Haney's got his number. I really do. And the thing is with Kambosos, he's not a pressure fighter like people were making him out to be. He's a mid-range counterpuncher. He's like an aggressive mid-range counterpuncher, but he's not an out-and-out pressure fighter. And he can't counter Devin Haney for 12 rounds and win on points. He just can't do it. Yeah, exactly, bro. I would pick Frank Sanchez to beat Dubois. I think he beats Dubois. I really do. Sanchez is a terrible watch. That hammer fight, I fell asleep 3 times. Don't want to see him get any opportunities. That'd be an interesting fight, Matt. That'll be an interesting fight. Fury's not really fought that sort of guy since when? That really awkward, slick, back foot boxer. What, since Steve Cunningham, maybe? That'd be an interesting fight. Yeah, Ajagba's basically Wilder light. Basically. I'll be honest though, when Ajagba first came on the scene, I was somewhat sold. I'm not going to lie to you. I was somewhat sold. I felt there was a good base there for a good heavyweight, but he's not really developed. He's not really developed like that. Probably Trevor Bryan in a really shit points fight. Okay, they're still doing the narrative and introduction. Good to see Golovkin get another shot at Canelo finally. Yeah, listen, man, I hope he wins, bro. I hope he can pull it off, but I can't see it, man. I can't see it. The GOAT himself, Gary Cully, get a shot at Devin Ganey. Yeah, Gary Cully's interesting. He's a tall, rangy, lightweight, southpaw, decent fighter. I think Trevor Bryan beats him easily. And that goes to show how bad Chris Lovejoy is. Because he is dreadful, genuinely. I reckon there's people in the chat who are heavyweights. If they trained for 12 months, they could beat Chris Lovejoy. He's that bad. He is that bad. Yeah, a prime Kevin Johnson would beat Trevor Bryan, yeah. Big up to True Crime with G-Man. Check out G-Man's boxing channel and his True Crime channel. Both really good channels, man. Salute G-Man. No, I think, listen, Nasra, I like watching him fight as well. I think he's got skills, but that Fundora fight, man, I think that took a lot out of him. I think that fight took a lot out of him, to be honest. He's a good, fun fighter, but I can't really see him winning a world title. I think that time has gone. If he was going to win one, he would have won one by now. I know he's not that old, but he's taken punishment, man. Brutally knocked out by Jarrell. That brutal beatdown against Fundora. Very slow feet, Nabzila. Very slow feet. Big Pharma looked awful. I saw some highlights, G-Man. Okay, so they're facing off, Golovkin and Canelo. Canelo looking a little bit wound up. Canelo's looking a little bit wound up. It looks like he's wearing fucking mascara. Canelo, that is. Golovkin's kind of smirking. There's some tension here, you know. There's some tension here. Golovkin mean mugging him. Canelo looks pissed. Canelo looks wound up, agitated. Got a bit of a scowl on his face. Golovkin's looking calm, chill, relaxed. Looks like he's been in the sunbed, Golovkin. Interesting. Eddie Hearn's looking like a Tory that he is. Interesting. Did you, Alan, feel that Canelo looked a little wound up? He looked a little riled up to me, Canelo Alvarez. I think Brown deserves more credit than he's getting, you know. I actually rate Junior far. He gave Parker a real close fight. Boring, sure, but close nevertheless. Yeah, I was surprised by that fight, Will. Yeah, Golovkin looks like a Russian mobster. I mean, I'd watch it, Nathan. I'd watch it, but that's not saying much. Honestly, he'll make it competitive, Will. He'll make it competitive due to the size, but I think Charlo chops him down. Dubois beats Wardley, BG London. Dubois beats Wardley. I don't rate Wardley that highly. He's good. In context, he's good for a guy who started boxing when he was like 19, 20. In that context, he's pretty good. He's athletic. But I think Dubois got much better fundamentals, to be real. I think he's a harder puncher as well, maintains a better shape. I think Dubois gets to him. I'd watch it, though. Canelo looks worried. He looks wound up. Yeah, if Grandpa Golovkin wins, Twitter would be brilliant. I could retire happy as a boxing fan. It's never going to get better than that. If old man Golovkin beats if he beats Canelo, it's never going to get better than that. Now, I'll be real, yeah. It's crazy because literally 10 minutes ago I said, "Oh, you know what? I'm not really looking forward to it." Now I've seen the face-off. It's got me a little pumped. It's got me a little pumped. Goes to show, man. Listen, I'm going to take back what I said. That's kind of pumped me up. Jokes aside, I'd like to see Big Daddy Brown spark out Wardley or Babbage. That'd be hilarious. Yeah. Canelo looking like a overripe sour ginger gash. Yeah, he's trying to mean mug him. Yeah, if the boxing gods could make that happen, can you imagine getting outboxed by Bivol and then getting like Marquez style slept against Golovkin? Can you imagine that? That'd be the ideal if that happened. Where like let's say Golovkin's getting his shit pushed in for like 6 rounds, then overhand right, bang, knocks him clean out. That'd be amazing if Golovkin could pull it off. Phil McCracken he's still not forgiven Junior Farr for fucking up his accumulator. Fun fact: Terence Crawford did sambo wrestling and kickboxing. I knew he did wrestling. He's a strong dude, Terence Crawford. He's very strong. That probably comes from that wrestling base, I guess. But yeah, he is very strong, so that's not surprising. I never knew he did kickboxing though. I think anybody who's a true boxing fan wants Golovkin to win. Maybe that's a rash statement, but I think most people here are rooting for Golovkin from what I see. Yeah, he'll come unstuck, Mr. Relax. But he's fun, like you say, he's fun to watch. He's decent to watch. That would be even more hilarious, actually, if like Golovkin actually gets beat up and he clearly loses and he wins the decision. That'd be hilarious. Pretty sure I said you'd get excited a few weeks ago. Yeah, you're right. Felipe, who will win, the Mexican monster, Benavidez, or Canelo Alvarez? Honestly, I think Benavidez has a chance if he can maintain that work rate for 12 rounds. Because Canelo can't outwork him. It's whether he can sustain those body shots from Canelo. But I think that's a hard fight to call. Yeah, I mean, he's got 2 world title fights in beating nobody apart from Lyndon Arthur, who he went 1-on-1 with. So, yeah, the matchmaking's been poor, but Frank's got him 2 big paydays, I guess. Yeah, exactly, Phil McCracken. We'll still watch it. Golovkin looks like a John Wick villain. I think obviously coming off a loss for a start, but he's also got bad blood with Golovkin, you know. Yeah, Banks has made Golovkin less predictable and more explosive. I agree. I agree, especially in regards to being more explosive because he's disguising that power more. He's not leading with power shots as much, and with combinations, he is, as I said, he's varying the power of his shots. He's varying the speed of his combinations. So sometimes he'll throw like a throwaway combination. I'm not saying they're not hard shots; they clearly are, but he's not loading up as much, and he's putting quicker combinations in. And then sometimes he'll vary the power, trying to mix things up a little more. You might be right, Koku, but I'd like to say I'd like to see him do it. Yeah, but it's Canelo, you know. Martin Bakole versus Dubois would be a great fight. BG London, that'd be an amazing fight. Like, especially considering the two styles, that'd be a great fight because both guys like to really come forwards. That's how I feel, Nathan. That's how I feel. Canelo would hurt Benavidez. I wouldn't go that far. He could win the fight, but I wouldn't say it will hurt him like it's one-sided. Yeah, exactly, Nathan. Yeah, Bacole's too high risk. We'll see. But again, it's 168, so... Yeah, maybe. I don't think he's certainly not got any better since that second fight. Yeah, I could agree, Jared. I think it'll be mid-rounds before he gets stopped. As long as Golovkin still has that jab, he'll always trouble Canelo, yeah. I mean, Canelo never took away that jab effectively in both fights. That jab was peppering Canelo in both fights. Benavidez is overrated. Christian and Mbili, David Morrell would beat Benavidez. I wouldn't go that far. I rate Mbili and I rate Morrell, but I still favour Benavidez. Golovkin's 40 now, I want to say. He's 40, yeah. I'm Mexican, and the Mexican in me wanted Canelo to win and get that second fight, that second light heavyweight belt. But the boxer in me knew that he would lose, and he has no business in that weight class. Yeah, and I think Bivol really kind of showed that, didn't he, in that fight? Wrong fucking tab. Yeah, I mean, Tank is filled out at 135, let's be real. Yeah, that was early though, bro, and he wasn't hurt in that fight, Benavidez. It was a balance thing. He wasn't hurt or anything. And he adjusted in the rematch and won clearly. I felt he won the first fight clearly, to be honest. I think he won the first fight clearly. But, you know, he felt the need to do it properly, and he did. Yeah, I think Morrell's too green, Alan. I think Morrell's too green. I like Morrell, though. I think he's decent. I think he's fun to watch, at least. He's certainly fun to watch. Hunter Dubois would be a good fight. But again, I think they're going to wrap Dubois in cotton wool until he gets a big fight. I think they know he's very vulnerable. So I couldn't see a fucking fight with what's his face. I couldn't see a fight with Michael Hunter, to be honest with you. My stream is freezing. I don't know whether it's because I'm streaming as well. On a Matchroom boxing stream. See if that's any better. Eddie Hearn is still talking. Jesus. Jesus Christ. Golovkin won the first and second fights clearly. How bad a sport is boxing that he still doesn't have a win over him, yet is fighting a third now when he is very old and everybody knows he loses. Well, that's boxing for you. That's boxing for you, man. I agree. I felt the second fight was close. I felt he won the first clearly. I still felt he won the second fight, but I felt the second fight was close. Bivol just about, Alan. Bivol competitive fight, but he could get robbed in that fight. In fact, a robbery in that fight is quite highly likely, I would say. But I would take Bivol. Tank's not going to fight anybody, bro. He's not going to fight anybody. He's not going to fight Prograis, Haney, Lomachenko. No way. He'll basically stay on the PBC side for as long as possible. Maybe at best you might get a rematch with Isaac Cruz. That's the best you'll get in the next couple of years. That's the best you'll get. Hard to say, bro, because Hunter looked terrible in his last fight, and Dillian White got knocked clean out again, so it's hard to say. Again, for me personally, bro, I'm not a fan of pound for pound, but like I would say Usyk right now is number one. I would say Usyk. If anybody deserves it, it's Usyk. For me, at least. Yeah, he looked calm, Sadiq. He looked very calm. He looked very calm. Whereas, like I said, Canelo looked a little wound up, a little on edge. Not saying he was scared, but he looked angry. He looked angry. Good question. Does Canelo have another rematch clause? That's a very good question. Surely not. Surely not in a third fight. I wouldn't have thought so. But honestly, if Golovkin wins this third fight, will there be a fourth fight? Because officially, it will be 1-1-1. Honestly, I think Rian Rong is too tough. I think Rung Vasai is too tough. I think Bam wins. I think he outpoints him, but I think Rung Vasai is too tough to get knocked out. Famous last words, I know, but I think he's too tough. Rung Vasai has a great chin. Great chin. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying, Koku, man. I've got Usyk number one. Okay, now they're on the desk now. Eddie Hearn's introducing everybody. Canelo's wearing a black t-shirt, you know, trying to swagger it out. Golovkin looking pretty chill. Golovkin looks like he should be on a golf course when he's like out of fights. When he's not in fight mode, when he's not like ripped up and ready. He looks like he should be on a golf course in like fucking the Algarve, you know? He looks like Golovkin when he's not fighting, when he's in like regular attire, when he's like not in shape. He looks like a tech dork. It'll knock you clean out. I've not really thought about it. I think there's a high chance that fight could be fixed. I think there's a high chance that fight could be fixed, and Tommy Fury loses in inverted commas. Listen, man, Tommy Fury should win, man. If he's he should win, but yeah, I had the first fight 8-4. I had the second fight 7-5. I disagree, Albanian. I'm not saying it was a robbery though, but I felt Golovkin won. Canelo saying it's personal, that Golovkin's talked a lot. I can't wait to be in the ring. And he's saying when he's face to face with Golovkin, he doesn't say those things that he says in the media. That he's pretending to be a nice guy. This is Canelo's little spiel. Canelo's going in. Be a man and say what you say. Damn. Golovkin doesn't look phased whatsoever. Canelo saying the only way he wants to finish it is by knockout. What's Golovkin got to say? This is tense, you know. This is tense. This is selling me. It's selling me. Oh, he's speaking Russian. What's he saying? Come on, man. If there's a boxing god, Golovkin wins this fight. Pray to the boxing gods, lads. Golovkin is playing the PR pretty well there. Basically saying it's a fight to him, it's sport, blah, blah, blah. If Canelo feels this is personal, that's his problem. That's all he really said. Eddie's trying to get something out of Golovkin. I think he's trying to subtly troll Canelo. Yeah, exactly. That's what it is, Nasru. Yeah, Canelo still has hate because of Golovkin's claims over PEDs. Well, they're not claims; they are facts, aren't they? I want Jake to win, bro. I want Jake to win, man. Fuck it. Let's get Jake Paul winning that fight. Yeah, that'd be great. If Golovkin could pull off a Marquez, yeah, that'd be great. No, I've only sparred a lot, bro. So I've sparred a lot. I've trained. I was supposed to have an amateur fight when I was 17, just about turning 18. But I've told this story before. Forgot the person who I was supposed to fight pulled out. That basically ruined that. And shortly after that, I got a new job. Life changed, and I just didn't have the time for it. Essentially, these days I'll spar now and again. I'll jump in the boxing gym now and again, but it's rare. I'm rusty as fuck. I'll get wrecked. Marku, I would say. Yeah, I know, right? All you see is the pill emojis on stream, yeah. Yeah, Canelo's getting clowned in the comments, trying to act hard in front to a 40-year-old. Yeah, those are the emojis going around, the old syringes and pills. Jonathan Banks again sort of playing a PR, saying Canelo's a great fighter. Tough fight, bloody bloody blah. I hope. Listen, man. I don't want to get too invested in this fight because I know what's going to happen. I think I know what's going to happen, so I'm going to try not get too invested. And yeah, Canelo said he wants to beat Golovkin into retirement. Fighting words, man. But what can clenbuterol be used for? Can be used to mask that shit. And by definition, a fat burner is a PED. So let's say you make weight. Let's say I'm a middleweight, which is what Canelo was. Let's say one fight I make weight naturally, without any help, without any PEDs, without any fat burner. Theoretically, I'm going to be worse at the weight because it's taken more out of me. I've not had an extra help. If I then make the weight in my next fight with clenbuterol and it makes it easier to make weight, of course you're going to be better on fight night. So by definition, yes, it can be a performance enhancer. If you're not as drained, you know, it's not directly a performance enhancer like that, but it can be a performance enhancer. If you're having an easier time making weight, then yeah, that can aid your performance. But I get what you're trying to say. I get what you're saying. Golovkin's the type of guy to turn down Scarlett Johansson and a prime Halle Berry naked in this hotel. Can't wait to watch MJ this weekend. People are sleeping on him just as good as Fulton and Inoue, in my opinion. Damn, that's high praise. I think him and Fulton is a 50-50 fight. If it goes on points, Fulton wins. He outboxes him. But I think MJ can knock him out. Fulton got hurt a couple of times against Figueroa. And MJ is very explosive. He's a harder one-punch guy than Figueroa. So that's going to go by knockout for MJ or Fulton on points. That's a 50-50. Eddie saying he wants to knock out as well. Eddie Reynoso. Tommy knocks out Jake Paul. Paul is trash. His last fight was terrible before the telegraphed KO punch. Listen again, he should win that fight. Tommy should win that fight. The worst case of cardio was Alfredo Angulo punching himself out in the first round and getting KO'd in 6 by James Kirkland. I remember. It was a great fight, though, Javier Martinez. It's a great fight. I used to really like Angulo, man. I used to really like Angulo. That guy looked like a fucking savage, man. Oh, yeah, they'll make a new belt, Mr. Relax. They'll make a new belt for this fight. Well, Kovalev really showed it, though, Felipe, because Kovalev wasn't really doing anything in that fight apart from throwing a soft, long jab, and that was giving Canelo problems. I think the blueprint was always there, especially at light heavyweight. Yeah, MJ's Murazhan Akhmadaliev, yeah. That's his nickname, MJ. Yeah, that's the fight to make, Nathan, isn't it? MJ and Fulton. It's a great fight. Golovkin's going to get cancelled, guys, by the way. He's speaking Russian. He's going to get cancelled. Golovkin's a war criminal, confirmed. He's going to get cancelled. Golovkin is playing the he's playing like the PC PR game here. Canelo's closing his eyes and like rubbing his head. Canelo saying he's more dangerous than ever. Yeah, the Caleb Plant thing was embarrassing. How he was saying, "Oh, I'm pretty good, right? I'm pretty good." Embarrassing. I'll be interested though to see how well this does on DAZN pay-per-view. I'll be interested because DAZN doesn't have that sort of built-in fan base like HBO or Showtime do in America. So it'll be interesting to see how well they do. I think it will do decent. I think it will do decent. Like both of the first two fights both got over 1 million, I believe. So I think this will do something close. Maybe not quite 1 million, maybe 900, something along those lines. And that was it. That is the press conference. It's pretty tense. Are they going to do one more face-off? I think they are. I think they're going to do one more face-off. And of course, this is Golovkin's chance to become undisputed as well. Let's not forget that. He wanted to do that at 160. Could never quite get it done because of Billy Joe Saunders, of course. But this is his chance at 168. So this is a big fight, man. It's a big legacy fight for Golovkin if he can pull this off. Golovkin definitely needs to up his suit game, though. He definitely needs to up his suit game. That has to be said. Are they going to do one more face-off or not? Let's have a look. Yeah, they are. One more face-off. Nothing crazy happened. Yeah, that's the thing, Steve. Yeah, I get you, Steve. That's the thing. Yeah, exactly, Kevin. I mean, Canelo's only got himself to blame, right? Yeah, I'm not bad for a 21-0 fighter. Imagine if he said that to someone like Roy Jones or James Toney. Yeah, he'd have been clowned. Yeah, he is. Plant also saying I'm sad to Canelo after losing a fight. Yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap this one up. Need to make something to eat, then I've got to start fucking recording. So, yeah, man, I'll wrap this up. Have a good weekend, guys. Enjoy the boxing. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Stay safe.